everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shauna and this channel is all about homeschool and motherhood. And today we are going to be talking about how do you know if you're doing enough as a homeschooling mom. And I think it's such like a normal questions for moms to just constantly be asking if they're doing enough. So I'm going to give you guys 3 questions to try to think about this a little differently. So the first question is, if your child was in public school or private school or being taught by another homeschooling mama, would you be asking yourself if whoever is teaching them is doing enough? Now, I'm not talking about whatever, public school experience may have brought you to homeschooling, because there are quite a bit of us who saw a gap in the public school system and didn't want our child falling through it. So I'm just talking about, the general experience. If, I think a lot of the times, people drop their kids off in the morning, pick them up in the afternoon, they see them coming home with homework, and they assume that enough is going on. And a lot of the times they don't question, oh, is Mrs. Smith teaching little Johnny all that she could be teaching him? Is she really doing enough? So why would you ask yourself that question? Of course you're doing enough. Next is that question coming from a family member or a friend? And with that, are they asking it because they want to encourage and lift up your homeschool? Or are they letting some of their negative, homeschoolers are weird vibes reining in on their conversation with you? Because if that's the case, it is 100% okay to create some healthy boundaries, even if it's with somebody that you love, and tell them that that topic, that all of your homeschooling decisions are not up for conversation. It's okay to make boundaries with friends and family, even if their heart is in the right place, but their words necessarily aren't. Because anybody who's talking to you about your homeschool should be encouraging. And that's not to say that nobody should ever, question you and try to push you to be a better homeschooling mom and just a better mom in general, because sometimes we don't know that we're doing something until somebody that we love says it to us in a loving way. But if all somebody is ever doing is talking to you about your homeschool in a negative manner, don't talk about homeschooling to them anymore. Just tell them, I'm sorry, I love you, and I appreciate your love and concern, but this is not a topic that we're going to be discussing anymore. The last question would be, how do you measure your worth? How do you measure whether or not you're doing it right? How are you going to measure your kids' worth? Because their worth and their homeschool experience is so much more than just academically based. Homeschooling, life is homeschooling. So they learn so much more than just what those books hold, what those curriculum books hold. They hold whatever books you're reading to them as read-alouds. They're holding whatever life skills you're teaching them. They're holding whatever future, possible career skills that you're teaching them. They are learning so much on a daily basis. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry, because even if you're taking breaks, from what I've learned from all of the veteran homeschoolers that I've spoken to, is that when you take a break and you feel like, man, I'm not doing anything at all, your child is usually growing in all of these different ways that aren't even academically based. I was speaking to one lady who homeschooled all 3 of her kids, and they're all college graduated, off living their lives. And she was telling me that she attended a homeschool convention where the speaker was saying how her father had passed away the first year that they were homeschooling. And they didn't do any schoolwork because they were just going through this really long grieving process and trying to get him set up in hospice, and then, dealing with funeral arrangements later on. And she thought, oh my gosh, I'm failing my kids this year. Like they're gonna not know anything next year. And the following year she had to have them tested based on her state results, and they were excelling. So let that take some of the pressure off of you. We don't always have to, you know, do all of the curriculums and do all of the subjects and read all of the books. I mean, you should definitely read books because I think that that just, you know, has its own value, but you don't have to do everything. So if you're sitting there wondering, you know, am I doing enough as a mom? Am I doing enough as a homeschool mom? God says that you are enough for those babies. And He gave them to you because you are the perfect mom for them. And there's nothing that you can do to not be enough for them as long as you are showing up. Just show up and you're enough. So I hope that this video can bring you some kind of encouragement in, you know, an area that can be really hard on us moms. If it did, let me know down in the comments, you know, do you ever struggle with feeling like you're enough as a homeschooling mom? Do you ever feel like you're failing your kids? Or are you doing certain things where you're like, man, I'm killing it? Let me know down in the comments. Let's lift each other all up. Let's, you know, find ways that we can just help each other and just root for each other. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you again later. Bye.